let's talk just a little bit about tomatoes. Come with me. We have had 2 nights that were under 40 degrees. The first night was like a low 30s and the second night was a higher 30s. There was frost on the ground 2 nights ago. So I just figured I'd show you what I've got. These are salad-sized tomatoes. Look at that. Nice size. And then here's some more salad tomatoes. And they're a little bit different colors as well. And what likely happened is they likely, because I believe this one is actually done. Likely, the salad tomatoes, the red ones, crossed with some of the Sungold, and now they are orange and done. Because they should be, you know, red, this deep red, but they're orange. So let me show you a Sungold. They're smaller. And that is actually ready. That orange tomato. Little tiny cherry tomato that's orange. Usually what will happen is they won't change colors until they actually reach full size. So if this is their full size now, they are changing colors. So light, that's why I said they probably mixed with the Sungold. So here are some Mexican Midgets. These are a lot smaller than regular cherry tomatoes. These are Mexican Midgets and they're changing colors gradually, which I love. I think it's just beautiful. Isn't that beautiful? I just love patterns. So cool. And when they're hanging from the vines on the trellises, look at that. Isn't that cool? But these are starting to turn as well. But because the tops have ripened, the fluid that ripens them is going through the vine already. There's also a gas that comes off of the tomatoes that are ripe that will help ripen these as well. Literally called Mexican Midgets. And I believe I bought them from M.I. Gardener. That's what it said on the package. So it's not me. It's not a slam at any culture. But these were called Mexican Midgets. They're smaller. And then these are, you know, those are more like what you see as well. They're a cross between cherry tomatoes and salad tomatoes. Versus these salad tomatoes. Yeah, they're nice. And like I said, they're changing gradually on the vines. And they will all change to the right color. They will all ripen. I don't wash them until I get ready to use them. And the other part is I never ever eat split tomatoes. I always put my green ones. If I picked green ones, I happen to pick some that had some that are changing. I'll put them at the bottoms of the baskets or the bottoms of the boxes if I have to stack them, because the green tomatoes have super thick skin. This one's very green. The skin is super thick. If I were to slice it and measure it, it's super thick. And then as they ripen, the skin gets a little bit thinner. Look at that. If I weighed this, that's got to be, gosh, it's got to be at least, what, 3 pounds. Those are pretty good size. I love them. And I'll put them in the garage in a box and in bags. And they will ripen gradually. And then when they are, or I will use those green tomatoes for fried green tomatoes, which are delicious if you know how to make them. Alright, so let's talk about shapes. Shapes are funky. That's okay. Versus store-bought, you know, store-bought's going to be more like the, oops, oh, great, it's all falling apart. It's going to be perfectly round like a ball, like what my puppy likes. And the color's going to be just perfect, you know, like this. This is going to be your store-bought tomato. But you don't know how long it's taken to travel to the store. Then you don't know how long it's been sitting in the store shelves. You don't know how many hands have been on it, you know, things like that. So they're beautiful, but if you didn't grow them, you don't know those things. All right, so I was going to show you some different things. This right here, it's got holes in it and looks like webbing here, which is probably bugs. And then there's a big hole right there. I don't even know what's in there. Some people will cut those pieces off and eat it. That's up to you. I'm not going to judge. But I'm just telling you, if that's the only tomatoes that you ended up getting, and you really want tomatoes because they're good with vitamin C and they're good for your skin healing and they're good for cold prevention and flu prevention and all that good stuff for your immune system, then cut it off and eat it. Lots of green tomatoes. I will be sharing some of the recipes that I have for green tomatoes besides fried green tomatoes, and I will share different ideas of what you can do with green tomatoes and some more big ones and some more crevices and cracks. This is actually kind of normal on the bottoms of beefsteak or the bottoms of the stuff that we grow at home on the vines. You can cut that stuff off. That's not going to hurt anything. Make sure there's no bugs. Make sure they're not deep. Let's see. I thought I saw one I was going to tell you about. Yeah, this one. This one's interesting. This one actually looks like it's got a colony of something in it. So I'm probably not going to eat it. I could probably eat the other ones around it. They're on the same bunch. But I could eat this half and not that half because I don't know what's in there. So when I store them, I'm going to store them upside down like this. And you can see that's where the flower was. That's that blossom end. So when they talk about blossom end rot, they're talking about like a fungus, a mold, a rot that starts down at the bottom of the tomatoes. I've got a bunch of those. So I usually store them upside down. The one I just showed you, this could have started from a bird pecking at it just to see what it was, and then things could have moved in there. This one here. Here's some more of those bottoms. I am not a tomato expert yet. I've been growing them a pretty long time now, but I haven't encountered every single thing that happens with the tomato yet. I'll tell you about these kind right here, the big ones, while I'm going through them. They're called beefsteak, and what'll happen is they're going to be a lot more meaty and less juicy, and they're the kind you can put on burgers because they won't, juice all over the burger and make the bun soggy. That's why they call them beefsteak. Salad tomatoes. These are almost plum tomatoes because they're so large. And they call them plum tomatoes because of the shape. They look like a little plum. Cherry tomatoes and salad tomatoes. And the mini ones. Oh, here we go. Here are some paste tomatoes. These are either Amish paste or, that's probably what they are, Amish paste. I did plant those. I do have some Romas in here as well, but I think that's an Amish paste as well. But I think I already picked all those, or they're in a different area. Okay, so let's look at this one here. All of these are splits. Oops. Some people would just cut the pieces off, that's fine, and they go on their way. But if you're going to cut them off, at least look on the inside and see if there is any kind of weirdness in there. And then also smell it, because sometimes you can smell them, they don't smell good. Let's flip this baby over. This one has been pecked by scissors, but that's what a bird peck would look like even. And it is overripe. So it's very squishy. And when I open this up, it would all be overripe. So I'm not going to use this one for cooking or for slicing because it's too far gone. But its sister, look at that. Look at this one. Ooh, it's so pretty. And it's partially ripe and partially not. Probably this side was toward the sun or got a little bit warmer. Or it was closer to her sister. Yeah, it was closest to her sister right there. Okay, so I personally will not eat this one. Not necessarily, maybe because of this stuff, but definitely because I know the inside is not good anymore. Another beefsteak. And look at that. Check that out. If you can guess, give me a guess about, you know, what would have eaten these. This one. What would have made this hole? I bet you know. It's very green though. It doesn't matter. Green or not. Look at now on the sides too. If you said a tomato hornworm, or thought a tomato hornworm, you are likely correct. That is probably what ate it. Because a lot of times the tomato hornworm, it doesn't matter where on the tomato. So like it doesn't have holes in the bottoms necessarily. It's got holes on the sides. So if the tomato hornworm was on the leaf of the plant and it was touching the tomato, then nom 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 nom. You ate down all the leaves. Now nom nom nom, it's getting to the tomato. Some people didn't know that they'll actually eat tomatoes as well. But they do. That is probably tomato hornworm damage as well. And they may be inside there. I am not going to cut them open today. Oh, that would be a fun time though too, wouldn't it? That would be fun. And then, I was going to show you this one. Remember I said these are likely Amish paste. This would be another example of what tomato hornworms can do. See, it's on the skin itself, and it just munched and munched and munched and had a good old time. Nobody saw it. So now this has lost its skin. I see some spots on it, and it's a little bit squishy there, but I probably would end up using this. I'll let it ripen a little bit longer, and I would probably just slice off the top part that's damaged. Because it doesn't look like they got actually into the tomato itself, into the liquid centery part. Yeah. But again, your green ones, have thicker skins. Your fully ripe ones are very thin skinned. And oh, there's where it is. And that's why they split so easily. I mean, when you've got those thin skinned, ripe ones, almost anything can make them split. And that's because nature wants the seeds to fall out and to go into the ground so it can reproduce itself. This is the kind of cherry tomato I would not eat. If it's been split, this one's got a healing split, but there still could be bacteria on the inside that can harm you. And I definitely will not ever now eat cherry tomatoes right off the vine. I will always wash them first because I don't want to get sick. But I think that's all I got for today. I'm going to have to do something with all these tomatoes, huh? And like I said, I will be sharing the any recipes I have. Recipes that are tried and true. Like tomato relish, tomato jam, jelly, things like that. And like I said, I'm not an expert. I just like to grow them. So if you got comments for me, please put them below. I'd love to hear from you.